What's the story, Morning Glory? What's the word, Hummingbird? Thank you so much for clicking on my channel and for joining me for this review of Seeking Sister Wife Season 4, Episode 4. Let's get into the Epps family. So, in the previous episode, we saw how India, which is the second wife that was added to the family, was really struggling with Marcus dating Bina and accepting her into the family if it should go that far. And India was also struggling with Marcus deciding to be intimate with Bina, because according to India, that should not happen until they have officially allowed her into the family, where she has become like officially the third wife and everyone approves of it and everyone's on the same page. Then they can become intimate. But until then, she doesn't think that Bina and Marcus should be doing any kind of fooling around at this point. So Marcus and India are having a conversation, just the two of them, and they're talking about that specific issue. And India says that she will only allow this to happen once her and Taryn have fully approved Bina. Now, Marcus says, well, when me and you started going out, we got down and dirty right away. When I started going out with Taryn, we got down and dirty right away. So why do I have to go through this, screening process with Bina? And India says, well, that was different because when I met you, you were not with Taryn. You were a single guy. And obviously when you met Taryn, you were a single guy. Now you have a wife, a fiance, and you have kids. So that's the difference. And you can't compare the two situations because they're completely different. So this is the day that Bina is going to start. This is the day that Bina is going to come over to the house, and all three of them are gonna, all of them are going to be conversating, and this is going to be the first time that India and Bina meet each other. So Bina comes over, and India wasted no time because at first, Taryn, because, Bina, Taryn, and Marcus, they've known each other for quite a few years. And so Taryn and Bina, they were reconnecting as friends. Like, oh my God, girl, so good to see you. Oh my God, you look so cute. Whatever, whatever. India had no time for that because she couldn't relate to that because she doesn't know Bina from way back then. This is a stranger to her who's trying to invade her home, the way that, India is treating all of this. And so India wanted to get down to business expeditiously. So when the small talk died down, India is like, okay, so what made you want to date Marcus specifically? And Bina says that because she couldn't see herself really doing this polygamy lifestyle with anyone else other than Marcus. And so then the question was to Bina, so why are you choosing, polygamy as opposed to monogamy? And Bina says, well, because I'm getting tired of getting cheated on. So at least with this, everything's out in the open. And, I know exactly what's going on. I know what it is, and I can accept it for what it is. So he could still cheat though. I mean, maybe y'all wouldn't care as much because y'all are in a polygamous relationship. So it's like, he was seeing somebody behind her back. Oh, who cares? Because they're all so used to him with being other women anyway. Maybe because there's no hurt there, but there would be hurt with India because she's like, I don't know, she's like deeply in love with Marcus. But I'm thinking like a polygamous husband can still cheat on his multiple wives with people out there, with other women out there. Like will that not be considered cheating? So all I'm trying to say is this a sure-proof way to avoid being cheated on and to avoid the hurt that comes with being cheated on if you are in a polygamous lifestyle? Do you feel hurt if you find out that your husband was secretly seeing another female on the outside and the other wives didn't know about it? Or is it just like business as usual? Like, hey, why are you doing all that sneaking around? Just invite her in, make her be a part of the family. So India believes that this is not a good reason to do a polygamous lifestyle, just to avoid being cheated on. You need something a lot deeper than that. So they talk about getting to know India because India has a very tough exterior, I guess. So like she's very closed off. And so they talk about how hard it is, to really get to know India. And Taryn says, well, once you get to know her, you're really going to like her. And India says that she's the one that keeps everybody grounded. Like she keeps Taryn and Marcus grounded because they're so busy living in La La Land. She's the one that has to bring them down to reality. And I wish you would have given an example of that. Like, what do you mean they're in La La Land? Or like, are they just busy playing around, having a good time, not paying bills, not taking care of kids, and you got to bring them back into reality that way? Like, what did you mean by that? So Benny Bina just straight out asked India, how'd she get so obsessed? Because it seems like she's very, very obsessed with Marcus, and she's very protective of Marcus. And India says that she's always been very territorial with the people that she loves, and that she will always, and she also says in her confession that she will always give Bina the side eye until she knows that Bina is doing this for the right reasons and has the right intentions to join their family. So that is quite interesting. And I wonder if this is going to scare Bina away, or if this is going to make her like be even more determined to join this family, just to kind of like I don't know, like really give it to to India. Like, girl, I know you don't like me, but I ain't going nowhere. Moving on to the Foley family, which is Stephen, Brenda, and the potential second wife, April. So Brenda's the one that's really struggling with her relationship with this potential second wife, April. This whole segment was really focused on Brenda's feelings and her trying to deal with her feelings as far as not being able to connect with this potential second wife. So Steve and Brenda came back from their cruise with Steve's family, and Steve mentions that his parents are very well aware of his polygamous lifestyle, and they kind of stay out of his business, and they're like, hey, you do you, we're fine with that. So there are still issues with the relationship between the two women. Brenda feels like April is very one-sided with David. Like, all she cares about is connecting with David and talking to David, and really doesn't give Brenda the time of day. And Brenda doesn't feel included in the relationship between April and Steve, whereas Brenda feels like April is very included with her relationship with Steve. So Brenda, while her and Steven are talking about this, she gets kind of like frustrated or emotional, and so she gets up and she walks away from him. And then she has a moment with the producers, I guess, where they're asking her like, what's going on, what's wrong. And she says that it's really annoying because she wants a friend, but April cannot be there for her, but April is always there for Steve. So she's having feelings of jealousy. I don't know why people put themselves through this. You know what I mean? Like, I don't even know. This woman, so Brenda is living this, she's in this situation where she's struggling with feelings of jealousy, being left out, not being made a priority. And I'm like, so this is how you want to live your life? Because she could potentially like be living in your home and be like an intricate part of your life every single day. Y'all really want to live like this? Like, I don't understand what's going on here. If I was feeling that way that Brenda was feeling, we would never see April again after that. It wouldn't happen anymore. But they continue to see her. So she's talking to Steve, and they're in his pickup truck. She's sitting in the pickup truck, and he's talking to her from the outside, and she's telling him that she doesn't want to cry on camera. And Steve is telling her, you should cry on camera. However you feel, just let those emotions out. So she thinks that they're putting April's feelings, she thinks that Steve is putting April's feelings above her own. And, she has these feelings of like loneliness. So Steve thinks it's a good idea for all three of them to go out to dinner together and talk about these issues. And so they all get together, the three of them, and Brenda lays it out on the table, and she basically tells April, look, I've been trying to connect with you. I don't think you're doing the same for me. I feel like you're connecting with him more than you're connecting with me. And this is just not going to work. I just don't feel right about this, or I don't feel comfortable about this, because like whenever you call, all you want to do is talk to Steve. You never ask to talk to me, and I'm not even a thought for you. And so I'm feeling very left out in this whole situation. Now keep in mind, y'all, that April is 21 years old. She has just like officially entered adulthood legally and her womanhood, and it's like, this is a lot. Not only are you trying to maintain a relationship with your man, but you also have to appease this older woman who's over here, crying and boo-hooing about how, why can't we be friends, and why aren't you my friend, and why aren't we, close? And it's like, that's a lot for a 21-year-old to take on. And I'm like, are you sure, April, that you want to go through with this? Is this something that you really want to do at the the tender age of 21. Now, we all know Steve wants this to happen. He really wants the two women to get along because it seems like Steve is really feeling April. Now, I don't know if he's like really feeling April as a full woman person that she is, or if he's feeling or if he's feeling April because she's 21 years old and he's already uh known her. Like, that's what I'm trying to figure out. Like, Steve, is this like a for real thing with you where you're like having feelings for her and you want her to be the second wife and be married to her and be committed to her and have a future with her? Or are you just like, I'm not done having fun with her yet, so these two women are going to have to learn how to get along because I'm not done with April? Like, what's really going on, Steve? So when I'm watching this, I really kind of don't have any sympathy for Brenda. I really truly don't, because you're 38 years old. You are like 21 to 31 is 10 plus 7 is 17. You're 17 years older than April, and you're crying because she's not reaching out to you like as a best friend. And no one understand. We all understand, Brenda, that the sister wives have to get along. They have to have some type of a bond. You have to be like real sisters in this situation because you have to be there to support each other in this very unique situation. And it's not going to help anybody if the women are not getting along, because it's going to put a lot of stress on the women and put a lot of stress on their husband. So something's going to have to give. But how does a 38-year-old woman and a 21-year-old woman, what do they bond over? What do they connect over? What do they have in common? What kind of relationship can they have that's not going to be like a maternal relationship, like mother and daughter type relationship? Like, how are they going to vibe? How are they going to connect? I just don't understand how that's going to happen, because you can only do so much shopping and so much going out to eat. Eventually you have to go home and Steve's going to be at work and it's just going to be the two of y'all in the house. How is that going to go? So I don't feel sorry for Brenda, because I think Brenda is grown and she needs to like fix her face, and she needs to like, get her emotions under control and act like the first wife that she is. And I don't expect much from April because she's only 21 years old. So I can't sit here and be like, well, April, you need to make more of an effort to be friends with Brenda. She's 21 years old. Why would she be interested in being friends with a 38-year-old woman? I'm not saying that Brenda's ancient. She's not like in her 70s or 80s, but it looks like Brenda and April are from completely different worlds. I just don't understand how they're going to connect. I don't know. Is it impossible? No. Is it likely that they're going to become BFFs anytime soon? Hell no. So, and then Steve says that he sees the desire in April for this whole situation to work, but Brenda has an emotional disconnect with April. So it's kind of like he was blaming Brenda for the breakdown in the relationship between her and April. That's what it seemed like to me. But I don't know how they're going to connect. Especially, and Brenda, I would never, ever, 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 ever. I understand that you should be vulnerable and you need to be open with your feelings, but I could not be out there crying because a 21-year-old girl isn't my friend. There's no way in hell. Moving on to the Jones family, Sidney and Tasha. So they are dating Ariel from the Philippines, and they have tried to meet her before. Well, what's his name? Sidney had tried to meet Ariel before, but they were supposed to meet in Costa Rica, but it couldn't happen because Ariel's flight got canceled from the Philippines due to COVID. So something needs to happen. They need to he needs to see her in person quickly, because I think that they think she's going to lose interest if something doesn't happen. Like, she can only do the online thing for so long until she just completely either gets bored or gives up on them. And she's invested a lot in this relationship, Ariel has. So they want to keep that momentum going before it fizzles out. So the plan is for Sidney to travel to the Philippines to go be with her. So they get her on FaceTime, and he's letting her know that he's going to be coming to the Philippines to see her. And she seemed really excited, like her whole face lit up. And then he says to her, he was asking her, well, he was trying to ask her, but he was being so polite that the question didn't really come across the way it should. So Tasha had to step in and ask. And Tasha was like, well, what he's really asking you, Ariel, is are y'all going to be sharing a room when he gets to the Philippines? You know, when he rents a hotel, should he get a 1 room or a 2 room? And Ariel was like, a 1 room is fine. We can share a room, no biggie. So that's where we are with that. So there's like this feeling of urgency for him to get there, for him to connect with her, and to see if this is really going to work. So, yeah. So that's where that situation ended. He's going to be making preparations to go to the Philippines. And that is my review of. Oh, wait a minute. No, that is not my review. Moving on to the Merrifield family. This is Garrett and Danielle. So, Garrett and Leah is the potential third wife because we have Danielle as the official first wife. We have Roberta, who is in Brazil, has not been able to come to the United States yet. She's the potential second wife. And then we have Leah, the potential third wife, who lives in the United States. And so, anyways, Garrett and Leah need some time alone. So they go for a walk. At first, when they were holding hands, it was so awkward looking. I noticed it before Leah even said anything about it. I guess it was because of the height difference or something, but still, no. It was just really weird how they were holding hands. It looked really like Garrick's arm was like in this weird angle. I don't know what was going on, but they fixed it. So Leah wanted to know how things were going, and she wanted him to tell him or to rate it from a scale of 1 to 10. Garrett, being the gentleman that he is, or maybe being the fibber that he is, he was like, you know what, I really can't rate it. But what I can say is, we're taking it day by day, moment by moment. So Garrett said, so then Leah asked him, what is the limit number of wives that you want to have? And he said that according to Danielle and Roberta, the limit is 5. And so then Leah says, well, what if I wanted you to have 6? Like, how do y'all do decision making when there's so many people involved? And Garrett says, well, he's the leader and he gets input from his wives, but I guess he makes the final decision. I think that's what he said. So Leah believes that the other wives are a lot more needy than she is. And, she's very goal oriented. She has a lot of ambition. She wants to go to school and get her nursing degree. She's a working woman. So she feels like she's not as needy of Garrett as the other women are. I don't know how she can make that judgment when she barely knows these people. Like, she really doesn't know Danielle. She knows even less about Roberta. Like, maybe Garrett is needy of them, because it seems like Garrett is very needy of Roberta. So I don't know how she can make that judgment. So it's the last day with Leah. They all go out to eat together. And we find out that Garrett and Leah finally shared a kiss. And they showed us the picture of that. It looked very staged, very posy. So I have no idea what the hell was going on there. It seemed like Danielle probably forced them to kiss just to get a picture. And she's probably going to send it to Roberta. And then they talk about Leah's past polygamous relationship and why it didn't work out. She said she really wasn't ready to settle down, but now she is. I don't know, y'all. I have no idea what's going on with this Leah chick and the Merrifields. I don't get it. I don't see no chemistry between any of them, between Leah and Garrett or Leah and Danielle. I'm so a little bit bothered that Danielle said that Leah's personality was bold and intimidating, because I need her to like really break it down to me as far as what she meant by that. And yeah, I just don't see it. I don't see it at all between Leah and the Garricks. I don't know what's going on here. Like I said, Leah, let me find out that you're just trying to find a place to stay, to pay no rent or little rent. Let me find out. That is the end of my review. If you made it this far, I really do appreciate it. Thank you so much. If you like this content, subscribe. If you don't worry about it. But thank you for stopping by anyway. On your way out, don't forget to rate the video, and I'll definitely talk to you later. Bye.